have invited a well-known investor, successful entrepreneur, and dear friend, as I said, of South Summit. No other than one of Shazam's co-founder. Let's welcome Dhiraj Mukherjee. Dhiraj, how are you? Lovely to see you again.
Very well. I hope you can hear me okay.
We can hear you and see you okay. You remember La Nave? You were here, I believe, a couple of years ago on our arena stage.
Absolutely.
I think I
Fantastic experience.
Introduced you. We miss you, but it's great to have you there with us, here with us. So, Dhiraj, first of all, tell us, well, who doesn't know Shazam? Who doesn't have Shazam on their phone, you know? I still remember Chris Barton's presentation last year. That was excellent. Lessons you've learned from Shazam that you find helpful today?
You know, we started Shazam 20 years ago now, even though that sounds horrible. And one of the things which I learned from that experience is that it's okay to be ahead of your time, because then you get a chance to invent the future. So that's the kind of the lesson learned I took from that experience, all the ups and downs over the years. And that's what I try to kind of apply, I guess, in my life today.
Wow, excellent. That was pretty good. So even if you're ahead of your times and you make mistakes, you'll still have time to fix them, right? What do you see then from your experience now? And I remember when you started Shazam, you said you were very naive and you made a lot of mistakes. But now, with your experience about business and shaping the future from 5 to 10 years' time, I know it's a long time and anything can happen, but you're not as naive as you were. What can you tell us about what you see?
You know, I've found as an entrepreneur, we sometimes made the same mistakes over and over again, being over-optimistic, you know, hoping for the best. But I stick with that because I think we need to have that optimism. And what I see really is three key themes shaping the future. The first is perhaps obvious, which is, you know, tech. The second is green. And the third is youth. And I think those three trends or macro themes coming together will give us a picture for the future in 5 or 10 years from now. So I look carefully at what's happening in technology, you know, what's happening with themes around sustainable development, renewable energy, and then perhaps most importantly, how do young people see their world today and in the future?
Let's talk about that last one then, Dhiraj, about the next generation and the youth. Well, we are not Generation Z. We are not, well, you might be a millennial, maybe old ennials.
Not at all. I'm Gen X.
Welcome and join the club. What do you see in this new generation, these Zers, Zoomers? What are the characteristics that you see?
Yeah, so this generation is very entrepreneurial. I mean, I've got 3 kids, Tanya, who's almost 14, Max, who's almost 11, and Jeremy, who's going to be 8. And so I can see the world a little bit through their eyes. Generation Z is the one which is now entering the workplace. And they're the first generation which is growing up alongside some of the themes we've been hearing throughout at South Summit. You know, artificial intelligence in the workplace. I've invested in a company called MeVite, which helps big companies avoid unconscious bias in their recruitment processes. And MeVite calls this augmented intelligence, working alongside these intelligent machines. I think the second is that we've got to remember that Generation Z are both employees. They're also customers. They're also influencers. And that makes a big difference in how they seek the workplace. The kind of fit for them is not just about money, but having meaning as well in their careers. And frankly, I think as influencers, their role is you know, dramatically more than the generations which came before. So I think that combination makes this generation, you know, substantially different from the ones which came before, even though I did find your quote at the beginning really hilarious.
Okay, just a couple more questions quickly. One, could you tell us another of your current investments that either are led by this Generation Z or that youth, or are addressed to that youth that you think are quite interesting or particularly, well, original, ahead of the trend?
Absolutely. So I should say that I spent a couple of Save the Children, which gave me a real belief in the power of young people to change the world. So I try to now put my money where my mouth is and invest in what I call tech for good. So companies which are trying to build a great business, but also have a positive impact on society. And I particularly look for those characteristics in the CEOs and the team, that resilience to be able to overcome tragic events like some of what we're living through this year. So I've invested in ed tech, so shifting from traditional education to online digital entertainment education rather. I've invested in companies which help immigrants in the UK called JAMA. I've invested in a company called Beam, which helps homeless people. A company called Erase All Kittens, which helps girls learn how to code. So it's a variety of themes, but all of these are people, young people, I believe, on a mission to change the world.
So it's a social investment, impact investment, not only to make money, but to do good to the world. Well, this is where all the investments is going at the end of the day. Just to finalize then, a quick advice or a clear advice to organizations from your point of view about the future of work. Apart from what you said, tech, green, youth, is there any tip, any final message you can give to organizations about this future, present?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's worth understanding the mindset of young people and how they want to bring together meaning or purpose and profit. But more importantly, I think we're stuck in this pattern this year about what the new normal is. And my view is, don't do that. Just learn to thrive on uncertainty and change. And it's the organizations who learn the best who I think will succeed in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And the same is true of individuals as well. So the more adaptable and the more willing to thrive in that uncertainty, I think better off people will be. And you know who does that really well?
Who?
Kids do that. They don't wait to see what the future has for them. They adapt, they change, they grow. And that's why I think young people are a great example, a great inspiration for me.
Okay, so thrive in this VUCA environment, in the uncertainty, et cetera, environment. Thank you so much, Dhiraj. It was lovely seeing you again. We hope that you come back to South Summit, whether it's physically or virtually. We feel very close to you. It was fantastic having you. Thank you for joining us on this very first day at South Summit 2020. All our love.
Fantastic. I hope to be back. Take care.
See you soon. Well, we couldn't finish our first track, Future of Work, on a better note with our dear friend, co-founder, Shazam co-founder, Dhiraj Mukherjee.